Good day, everyone. For the activities for today, you are going to make your menu card, compute for the menu cost, the markup, and the profit. So here is the sample for the menu card. So based on the example, as you can see, the background, the design of the menu card is related to the name of the establishment. So you need always to match the design, the background, the composition of your menu card to the theme of your establishment based on the concept that you proposed. So also, one of the things that you need to remember in doing a menu card is you need to create the text readable for the potential customers. Okay, so also for the price of each of the dishes presented in your menu card, this should be based on the computation of your menu costing. Okay, so again, this is an example of menu card. Okay, for the restaurant markup, so as we all know, restaurant have these two products or main products. You have the food and the beverage. So for the restaurant food markup, we will have a ceiling of 300% markup. So your markup can range below 300 up to 300% markup. So as long as you have profit from the costs that you incur in preparing the dishes or preparing the things that you need in your menu. Okay, so we will have 300% markup as the ceiling. So for the beverage, so this is much higher than the food. So we will have a ceiling of 575%. So it can range from 200% to 575%. So this is for the alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage. Okay, so for example, so as you can see on this table, we have the recipe name, the yield, the serving size, and the markup. So for the columns, the ingredients, the quantity used, the unit cost, and the actual cost. So it is important for you to have this yield and serving size in order for you to know how many servings or how much you are going to prepare or the composition of your menu. So how many people it will cover. Okay, so for this one, the yield is 12-inch pizza, and the serving size can be whole and it can be served as sliced. Okay, so they use 300% markup. So let's go now with the actual cost. So before you compute for the actual cost, you need to know how much or what is the quantity of each and every ingredients that you will use in your recipe. So let's see, for example, the sugar. So you're going to use or you need to have 5.83 grams. Now, when you make overload Hawaiian pizza, okay? And then how much is the amount of sugar per kilogram? So usually in the market, the price of the sugar is in kilogram form. So 50 pesos per kilogram. And then you have the actual cost of 0.29 centavo. So how are you going to have this result? So you need to convert first the cost per grams or per gram of the sugar. So later on, I will show you the computation for this. No, and then as you convert, you will multiply the price per gram to the quantity that you are going to use. Okay, so that's why you came up with 0.29 centavo and so on. Okay, and then when you are done computing for the actual cost of every ingredient, you're going to have the sum of all of those actual costs that you have computed. And then you have this total or the actual price or the total actual cost of 171.26. Okay, so now let's go to the markup percentage and the selling price and the actual selling price. So as you have first the actual price of 171.26. So this price is for the price of the per slice. So with this example, they're going to have 8 slices. Okay, so they have 300% markup. So when you are going to find out for the selling price, you need first to multiply the 300% markup into the actual price. So for the 300% markup, you are going to convert this into decimal form. So for this case, this is 3.00 multiplied to 171.26. So as you have the product, you will add again to the actual price, 171.26 plus the product of the 171.26 multiplied to 300%. So that's how they got these 685.04 for the price of the whole overload Hawaiian pizza. Okay, and then for the per slice amount, they just divided into 8. So that's why they have this 85.63. Okay, and then for the actual selling price, they round down. So they do not include the 0.4 and the 0.63 centavos. So they just have the whole number, no? So 685 pesos for the whole overload Hawaiian pizza and 85 pesos per slice of overload Hawaiian pizza. Okay, so this is the manual calculation reference. So as you will compute for the menu costing. Okay. Again, you need to have the sum of all the actual costs. For the markup percentage, so we have this on the slide number 2. We have the ceiling of 300%. So again, this may vary, no, as long as you will not exceed to 300% and your percentage will not give you negative profit. Okay, so just look for the safer percentage for you to become profitable. No? So again, the range is up to 300%. And then how are you going to have the selling price? Multiply the markup percentage to the actual price. But first, you need to convert the markup percentage into decimal form. And then you need to add the product to the actual price or the total cost. Okay. And then for the actual selling price, based on your selling price, you may round up or round down. Okay. So I will give you another video for the computation of the actual cost per ingredient and how are you going to compute for the actual price, the markup percentage, selling price, and the actual selling price with formula and example. Okay, so this computation can also be used with the beverage. So same explanation with the beverage menu costing. Okay, so the only difference is that based on slide number 3, we use until 575% or markup percentage. Okay, and then also you need to include the summary, okay, for the profit margin, markup percentage. Okay, so what you're going to do is you have the menu or the name of each and every dishes that you will going to serve in your establishment, the item cost, know how much is the total cost, and your selling price. But take note, you need to insert the profit here, after the selling price column. Before the markup percentage, kindly insert a column or an additional column for the profit or the amount of the profit that you are going to have. So the formula is selling price minus the item cost is equals your profit. So for example, 125 minus 55.25, the difference is your profit. Okay, so you will going to add one column here. Okay, so that's for the summary. Okay, that's it for the computation of the menu costing, profit, the selling price, and the menu card making consideration. Thank you and God bless us all.